Mother, man.
Hey, this is Jesse, Incinerate. You're listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
Well, fuck yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah, what's up, motherfuckers?
It's Tuesday. We know what that means, guys. We're here at Horns High Studios, episode 117. Gonna slay for sure. We had Jesse do that promo for us, and he's gonna be on the murder segment with us, Chris.
Fucking
that should
right.
be fucking killer.
Badass.
Hell yeah. I got Chris and Joey here, of course, with me, and you guys all recovered from the HOI show?
Hell yeah.
We're alive.
Awesome.
We're here.
Awesome. Awesome. We did have a busy day on Saturday. Joey, I know that your day had to just be insane, but it went great. Good turnout. I had fun while I was there, and I know that you had a lot of really good pictures you posted, so we're going to talk all about it in the metal segment, I'm sure.
Fucking A+.
But it was great. It was great.
It was a fucking success.
Yeah, on Halloween, so it was just a cool thing.
You know, we'll bring it up, but just like a fucking private joke kind of now, but because it happened, you know, like you said, Halloween, it was fucking daylight savings. It was
full
also
moon.
fucking, but it was a blue moon.
Right.
So now to me, since that was like one of the only shows that, you know, I got to see in 2020, like the term once in a blue moon is going to fucking totally mean something
that's
else.
hilarious.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's just it was a good time, and like you said, you know, nobody's doing any shows, and now we're getting upon another shutdown of bars and restaurants here in
It was
Illinois,
probably the last sliver window that I could find to fucking fit in what I
Dude,
did.
you could not have put it in better terms.
Yeah.
That was a sliver for sure, and it was great. So we'll be talking more about it. Tonight I'm wearing a, because of the upcoming shutdown, I'm wearing my Plague Doctor shirt. Chris, what do you got? Any cool shirts you got?
Jack Daniels Field Tester.
There you go.
Goddamn right.
That's very fitting. That's very fitting. And Joey, what about you?
I got a foul plastic hoodie, which I fucking wear all the time through the winter. And then I have a Beale Street shirt from fucking Memphis, Tennessee. They're
nice.
fucking, rock and roll fucking central right there.
Fuck yeah. And the hat?
Oh, yeah. I got the Gore Pot hat on, too, which Gore Pot from Taiwan. Brutal death metal, fucking badass.
Nice.
But I did the logo for this one, and
Okay.
they run a company called Fat Tub of Lard out of there too. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest fucking underground metal labels I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow,
these dudes push big shit, but they do a lot of the fucking hats for all the bands and all that.
Oh cool.
And this was a design I did for the logo, like a fan art almost, and fucking. They've never used it for like CD or anything like that, but all of a sudden they fucking pop the hats out, and I was like,
cool.
That looks great. So
awesome.
They said
that does look really good, man.
So check out Gore Pot, y'all, if y'all are looking.
Awesome. Always good to turn on people to new bands. Now, last week we did our Patreon-only exclusive on Richard Ramirez, the Screen Door Intruder. Finally, sick as hell, though.
Yeah.
Definitely fucked up.
He did vile things.
He was vile for sure. Yeah, the gouging the eyes out and then setting them up so the next victim, or that they could watch him rape the next victim. I mean, that's just wow. That takes it to a fucked up level that very few have entered that kind of pantheon of craziness. But it was sick. We had interview clip that we did with Jeff Gaither. He talks about writing to Ramirez when he was in prison, and Joey, it was really interesting to hear your 2 cents on that because you did as well.
Yeah.
And even brought some letters with you to the podcast. So
it was interesting to have some paraphernalia.
It was fantastic. So it was a very unique podcast experience.
And it was cool because I don't know if it was because he was listening to this one or what, but our buddy Weise Jesus in Chicago, because he knows I got the dirt from Gein's grave, and I think he was listening to the podcast. But he went out to Gacy's lot, and he fucking got me a vial of dirt from there.
Awesome.
And he brought it to the HOI show.
Oh, perfect, nice. Yeah, I did that for Gaither when I was up in Chicago one time. I did that for him. in like a little film canister,
Right.
scooped it up. So definitely you got to be a member of that 666 Club to hear it. So we do these Patreon-only shows, and we do it to thank our supporters on Patreon. And I get it that not everybody's doing that, but if you can, it's a good way to support the show. Keeps it moving, keeps it growing. And speaking of that, we got some exciting news to report about some new things. So 666 Club, we'll post the link in the episode description, but patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem will get you there.
I mean, the Patreon too is kind of like just a pretty cool spot for true crime gemstones too.
Oh yeah,
like we do the couple big episodes on there, but also like all the interviews and all that stuff.
Oh
like, there's some fucking knowledgeable people, Harold Schechter.
And we put the whole interview, like when we play the interview clips in the shows, we usually keep them 10 minutes or less.
Right. Yep.
And some of these interviews, Chris, we've done 50 minute interviews with like Dr. Catherine Ramsland. I mean, that's pretty impressive shit. And we asked her all kinds of good questions, and she was just incredibly, knowledgeable. Harold Schechter, Peter Vronsky, John Borowski, Jeff Gaither. We've done a lot of really good interviews. The Mark from Bear Mace, that interview's get almost 800 listens, which is cool. And your HOI episode was at 710 when I checked it earlier. So pretty fucking awesome. So it's cool that people are getting into the very specific things like that.
Yeah.
But 666 Club members, we appreciate you very much. Tonight, though, guys, we got another good one. And since we're going to have Jesse Incin from Incinerate, also septicemic, coming to co-host the murder segment with us tonight.
Right, dude. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be killer. Now, Jesse, of course, is from Minnesota.
Yes.
So little different up there, a little cold, little fucking snowy like all the time. And that's why we're calling this episode the Murdering Minnesota podcast. And we'll be covering a few killers that hail from the North Star states.
We got that weepy-eyed guy.
Oh,
not
dude,
weepy-eyed,
Weepy
but
Voiced
the weepy
Killer.
voice, yeah.
Not
weepy-eyed.
I got all 4 of his 911 calls to play.
Nice.
Yeah, all 4 of them in like a medley. So you'll get to hear it. It's fucking amazing. Paul Stefani, I mean, what a good one to fuck with.
Did we play the commercial last week?
It was a couple of weeks ago. We did CK's.
That's just so funny.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to play that one again because it's great. So we'll talk about Paul Stefani, the Weepy Voiced Killer. We've also got other ones. David Brom
and Jeff
fucking
Weise.
killing his family with an axe. Yeah. The school shooter.
Jeff Weise.
Jeff Weise. Definitely some brutal shit from Minnesota. We'll get to that when Jesse comes on here coming up. So now we got CK warming up, guys, and he's been doing some interesting things, to get ready for the show. He's throwing Chinese stars a couple of weeks ago. Now I heard, and this is, like a creeper at the bottom of the news channel, he's been hurling spears from his second floor apartment down at cars playing non-metal music.
So every car that goes by.
Pretty much, yeah. He's just throwing fucking spears out of the second floor apartment on Wildman.
Where does he get this unlimited amount of spears?
I don't know.
I think they come free with vinyl purchases.
He's probably ordered them from Amazon.
You get 10 vinyls, you get a free spear.
There you go. So CK's hardcore. He's warming up. He's not fucking around. He's going old school on us again tonight with Agent Steel. I'm familiar with the band, but not about their history, so it'll be interesting to hear what he's got to say. He's got a Lost classic, as always, and talking about all kinds of metal. I know he sent me a text. He got the Fates Warning today. It doesn't come out till Friday, but he got it today. He got the vinyl, I think, yesterday.
I hope he got the new damn fucking Goremonger split I sent him.
Oh, okay.
Mail's been taking a while.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's all pumped about having the Fates Warning. So it's going to be a good one. We'll talk, of course, about the HOI stuff in the metal segment. Got a killer cage match tonight. Got a few listeners to thank. Chris, always love the listeners that participate.
Yes, we got Mason Robertson. What up, Mason? How's it going? Work on that taper, dude. We got Marla Yancey, and we got Rebecca Boomsock. So thank you all for numbers for this fight because it's going to be epic.
It is going to be a good one, Joey. We got an interesting matchup tonight. Who's going at it in the cage?
We got the Cream City Cannibal, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Fuck yeah.
Going against the son of Sam, David Berkowitz.
Nice. That should be a very interesting matchup. Two kind of non-physical.
Yeah, they're both
killers,
kind of laid-back killers.
Yeah. Just going to sit out and chill. You know?
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. But they're going to fight to death in a cage with two objects and a funny variable. And so those are always fun. And we'll do that, of course, in the Mayhem segment with CK. We've also got some breaking news about the upcoming Seasons Beatings contest. Going to be brutal the month of December. It's going down. Artist Jeff Gaither's going to sponsor it, which is fucking awesome. And we're going to have some great prizes to give away, as always. The grand prize, though, of course, Chris,
as always, get to call in and guest host with us and kill it, dude.
That's right.
Which we're going to have fucking Warstrom come and do, over the fucking thing.
Right.
Do fucking Ed Kemper with us.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
We had our Hellcoming winner, Chris Warstrom from Georgia. He's picked, we gave him some options, and he picked Ed Kemper, who's actually our final episode of the year. Is going to be on Kemper. It's going to be brutal. And we'll have him on with us. So that's what you get. You get to co-host the show with us if you win this contest. It's going to be amazing. We'll keep bringing out details this month as we roll it out. But Seasons Beatings is going to be killer. Jeff Gaither's the sponsor. So go to artofjeffgaither.com and see the amazing shit. We were looking at just his prints are fucking.
That's what I'm saying. I got to go back into it because there's so fucking many.
There's so many. I got
they're so amazing, and they're very affordable. He's got T-shirts, fucking mugs, skateboard decks. I mean, he's got the most merch I've ever seen a human being have. Jeff Gaither's all about it. So go to artofjeffgaither.com and support it. Also, I've got some big news to announce here tonight, but I'm going to save it for the Mayhem segment. But I think our listeners are going to dig the expansion of what we're doing here. I'll give that tease, and we'll make you wait for the Mayhem segment to hear about that. So big thanks, of course, to SpellboundEffectsAndArt.com for sponsoring the show. They've been with us for a while now, so support indie artists like Tony Campagna. Just bring in the fucking sickness, man. I mean,
fucking
this shit is so killer. We always get compliments. So with HOI, I had several people.
Yeah,
man, that looks fucking real. Yeah, holy shit!
You said the picture of the ones he was sending out. It looked like the fucking fingers were like all broken and fucking
disfigured and shit.
Dude.
Hell yeah, dude!
Oh damn! Yeah, Tony is just unbelievable. So you definitely want to go to SpellboundEffectsAndArt.com. Link to that in the episode description. But buy some stuff. Tony's an underground guy, and he's a really cool dude there in South Florida.
Fucking underground motherfuckers.
Yeah, he's all about it. He's a fucking metalhead too. So support it. Thanks to all of you guys out there listening to Murder Metal Mayhem. We keep seeing the numbers coming in. We were at around 2,500 or so listens this past week, which is good. Huge thanks to Lake Stevens, Washington. 11% of the listeners of this show come from Lake Stevens, Washington. So fuck yeah, you guys. And we finally got a listener from there that comments.
Said something?
Yeah, we got a female from Lake Stevens, Washington that comments.
Yeah.
Man, if any of y'all listen to it know me through the fucking Monger shit, let me know it's you so I can fucking...
step up, man. We'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you. But all of you, thanks so much. You guys are just fucking amazing. So it's just great to see. So it's just really cool.
Yeah, keep listening, keep spreading it, man. Fucking A, we appreciate it a whole lot.
We do. And Chris and Joey got a lot on our plate tonight. We got Jesse fucking raring and ready to rip some fucking heads off. Some murder in Minnesota shit. So
fuck yeah, man. Let's get our fucking murder on. That Viking metal.
I didn't say murder.
damn, that was fucking brutal, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. That shit kicks ass.
Incinerate, fucking the rotting nun. I saw that. I was like, God damn, that sounds like a song from a Disney soundtrack. I don't know about you guys, but Jesse's over there laughing. We got Jesse Incin from Incinerate and Septicemic on with us. How's it going, Jesse?
Doing good. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey,
Fuck
no
yeah,
problem,
man. Is it
Thanks for
snowing
coming
up
on,
there
man.
yet? Are you like covered in snow already up in Minnesota?
Dude, we got 9 inches of snow, and
Oh
it
my
was
God.
it was just fucking brutal for like a week, right? So it went from like it was 83 one week. The next week we got 9 inches of snow. Now today we are having record highs. It was like 73.
God
Wow,
damn, dude.
that's
And then
fucked.
next week we're supposed to get snow again. So it's
2020 like a motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
Jesus
it is
Christ.
fucked up this year.
That's
That is
fucked.
fucked up. Yeah, my daughter did her internship up there, and I remember moving her to Minneapolis, and it was like January. I'm like, you really couldn't have picked a fucking southern destination to have your
Yeah.
old man traipsing up here in fucking the middle of January. I thought I was going to
January,
fucking
February.
die, and I've lived in either the East Coast or the Midwest my whole life. I've been around it. But that's a whole different fucking level of shit up there. So you guys can have it. So should be fun tonight with you here with us, Jesse. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about a few murderers, but they're all hailing from the state of Minnesota.
Fuck yeah.
So since Jesse's from Minnesota, we thought it'd be fun to take this and twist it up a little bit and do a few different killers, because normally we just talk about one. And of course, guys, we had to include the Weepy Voiced Killer. I mean, how can you not? Paul Stefani, one of Minnesota's fucking favorite sons. This fucking crazy fucking whack job has got such a great story. I can't wait to talk about it
It's
and make
fucking
fun of
crazy
it.
shit.
I got all 4 of his 911 calls to play. So the listeners will hear. If you don't know what this dude's about, it's going to be
It's fucking
great.
If you don't have all 9 of his 411 calls though.
That's right. That's right. Joey, I know we've been joking around about the Weepy Voiced Killer. We used him in a fake commercial not too long ago. But what is it
Yeah.
about this case you think that makes him so obscure? Because he's certainly not a household name.
No, he's not. And I think if it weren't for the term that they coined him as the Weepy Voice, I don't think anybody would even know. But I think first off, his murders were occurring in different locations, so people weren't looking at it, which is how he got away for a little bit.
Right.
So it wasn't gaining like a fucking centralized fucking impression by people, so
Right.
it wasn't getting that much coverage because of a split. And then second off, it just kind of petered out, the story itself anyway.
Plus
He got
Minnesota, New York City, L.A.,
Yeah.
those are the ones that get Chicago getting
Yeah.
a bigger recognition. But I'm thinking maybe Minnesota kind of off the radar.
But his case though is one of those ones that even if you haven't heard about it, if you start looking into it, it's fucking interesting.
Oh, it is.
and it's like you can't stop fucking checking it out. You
Right.
gotta figure it out. So.
No, it's good. Now, Chris, you think it's the cold weather up there that brings out the inner serial killer in people from Minnesota? I mean, what do you think?
Well, shit, we was just talking to Jesse about how fucking cold it is there. I've lived in Illinois my whole life, and it's cold as shit here, and it makes me want to kill motherfuckers. So I can only imagine, dude.
Yeah, Jesse, is there something in the water up there in Minnesota that creates these crazy people, or what, man?
I'm going to say the climate is definitely the big thing.
Cabin fever?
Seasonal depression is like a known thing that we all talk about up here.
Oh, wow, true.
In Denver, in places where they get just a shit ton of snow, but then it melts in 2 days and, whatever. Up here, we get like 3 to 4 weeks of negative 30 to negative 40 degree temps, and it's
Right.
just
Fuck. Yeah.
like you're not going snowmobiling, you're not going skiing.
You're stuck.
Like,
You're stuck in. Yeah, I mean, we know what happened in The Shining, right? I mean, Jack fucking snapped,
Froze to
right?
death,
So-
Stuff where everybody's like, oh, we're going to be isolated. Like, yeah, okay, that's fucking Minnesota.
Yeah,
right? No shit,
exactly.
yeah.
So we're going to start with Paul Stefani, as we talked about the Weepy Voice Killer. Definitely a fucked up dude. On December 31st, 1980, Paul Stefani beat the shit out of Karen Potak in St. Paul, Minnesota. She did live but suffered multiple injuries including some brain damage. I mean, absolutely nasty shit. He called the police himself at 3 a.m. to report that there's a girl hurt there and gave the police an address.
Yeah,
now,
he didn't have the address. It was the name of the business or whatever.
I don't know if it was that one. There was one where he talks about he didn't know the address. He just told the name of the shop. But this one, I believe he did. But if you don't think we're, exaggerating about this whole weepy voice thing, you got to hear this. So I'm going to drop this in here.
You just got to get it out of the way.
I'm excited. He's been a bit of like a folklore talk in our scene or whatever.
Oh,
I've never heard.
Oh, you've never heard this either? Oh, great. All right. Well, very cool. All right.
Listen, I'm sorry what I did to Compton. I couldn't help it. Don't know why I had to stab her. I am so upset about it. I keep getting drunk every night. I can't believe it. It's just like a big dream. I can't think of being locked up. If I get locked up, I'll kill myself. I'd rather kill myself than get locked up. I'll try not to kill anybody else.
Fire emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl. I stabbed her 40 times. Kimberly Compton was the first one. Oh, my safe. I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm sick. I'm going to kill myself, I think.
Where are you?
I'm just going to... If somebody dies with a red shirt on, it's me. I killed both of you. I'm sorry. I'll never make it to heaven.
Calm down. Calm.
Oh, yeah. You find me, I just stabbed somebody with an ice pick. I can't stop myself. I keep killing somebody. Yes, please, this is an emergency. Please send a squad to Pierce Butler Road, Molenberg Manufacturing Company, machine shop. Please, there's an ambulance too. There's a girl hurt there.
Can you tell me what happened to her?
Just hurry, she's laying on the ground in the back by the railroad tracks, by the edge here. Hurry.
What's the address?
I don't know.
Who are you?
What the fuck? There you go, Jesse. There you go. What did you think?
So whiny bitch killer must have already been taken.
Whiny bitch killer, yeah. What the fuck, man? Yeah, my wife thinks that he was doing it to disguise his voice. I would love to know what he actually sounds like when he talks. I mean, obviously he was hysterical there, but goddamn, I mean, Weepy Voiced Killer doesn't quite do it justice.
And that's what's so fucked up, too, and maybe why he didn't get some of the recognition, because
so ridiculous.
You tend to look at the more brutal macho fucking...
Oh, sure, that's true.
And if that dude... Because the shit that he was saying to the cops was fucking dark shit.
Yeah, stabbed her 40 times.
So if you said that in a different tone, it would be some brutal-ass shit, but the way he was saying
other than crying like a bitch,
you're just like, oh, hell no, this dude, he's got to be from Minnesota.
Now, Joey, is a grindcore band done anything about Paul Stefani that you're aware of?
I don't think so. No, not that I'm
well,
aware of.
It needs to be put on a list somewhere.
I'd have to
things to do.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past the fact Macabre probably did a song.
I was going to say,
but besides them, like any other, I really don't know another one, though,
So he lays low for about a year, and in June of 1981, he kills his next victim, Kimberly Compton, an 18-year-old student from Wisconsin. It happens in St. Paul. He stabs her with a fucking ice pick. So, I mean, he's pretty fucking brutal.
No, these fucking killings are like...
They're nasty.
Messy, fucking very bad.
Very, very violent. Kind of contradicting the whiny bitch killer. Yeah. He calls the cops again. You heard that in the clip we played. 2 days later, he calls them again. So he keeps calling...
Using that same voice, fucking...
Same voice.
It's fucked up.
He told the cops he would turn himself in, but he never did. And then on June 6th, he calls the police to tell them a story about a murder that was inaccurate. He wanted to, clear the air. You know how they talk about this, like when we did Paul Bateson, where he didn't like the way a certain writer in an article, portrayed him as a psychopath or whatever.
Dennis Rader, when they were trying to come back and bring his story back up.
Yeah,
he was like, fuckers, that's my shit.
Right, yeah. So these guys get all weird now. He definitely seemed to be obsessed with the media. So on that subject, Jesse, I mean, how much of the motivation for these serial killers comes from that craving to be in the media, and we've seen it with, Joey just mentioned BTK, Son of Sam, Zodiac, I mean, even Jack the Ripper. What do you think it is about the media with these guys?
I think even with like the kills, they just have such a need for control and dominance that they have to be in control. And Dennis Rader had also said that, his first kill was kind of messy and sloppy, and then he kind of perfected it. He was constantly chasing that high. So I think, downtime of killing somebody, I'll fuck with the police, and that'll get me a little buzz going as well.
For sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of them get off on that whole I'm smarter than the cops, like Ed Kemper. Yeah. I mean, there's countless, Bundy,
Ken Bianchi
Gacy.
Used to watch the newspapers fucking religiously. You love that shit.
Yeah, they get off on that. Jesse points out, of course, the definitely right on the money with the the God complex. Their power over their victims, and that's why a lot of them pick on these defenseless women,
older people,
kids, like fucked up. They're not attacking 30-year-old men for the most part.
Right.
That's like we just did the Night Stalker Patreon, and of course, by all accounts, he killed the 9-year-old girl first, and then a 72-year-old lady.
Right.
So obviously, easy victims until you catch your motivation to kind of figure out what you're doing.
Right. Right. Or as BTK, the victims got older as he got older because he wasn't as physically able to restrain and that sort of thing. Now, Stephanie calls the police a fourth time, or Stefani, I'm sorry. Stephanie.
Weeping.
He's that much of a weepy voiced killer. He's now become Stephanie. Calls a fourth time a couple days later, apologizing for killing Kimberly Compton. And then he kills another victim, Barbara Simons, a 40-year-old woman from St. Paul. They met at the Hexagon Bar. After chilling at the bar, Barbara told a waitress she thought Stefani was cute and hoped that he was nice.
Because I'm catching
going to give her a ride. Boy,
yeah.
So kind of crazy that she told her all this detail.
I'm kind of figure out if he's nice or not first. I mean, honestly.
Exactly. He winds up stabbing her 40 times and calls the police. You heard that on the clip. It's just fucked up. Now, Chris, what do you think, his deal was calling the cops? I mean, was he, did he feel guilty? Was he just trying to get attention?
I think it was the attention, like fucking Jesse was saying, dude. He was loving every piece of it. He just was lazy about how he got caught and everything. He just got lazy and wanted it too much. But I think he wanted the attention, honestly. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I don't think you're far off at all, dude. I think he was definitely trying to get some attention, maybe getting it off his chest. Jesse, I mean, you had something to add about the Hexagon Bar itself. You had something go down there.
So we've played there a bunch of times. My different bands, Face Oblivion, and I didn't know about Stefani here, and I was just like, man, this place just has a weird creepy vibe. And
shit.
This is where the Weepy fit, and he went off, and I was like, I had no fuck. So the Hexagon, we talked about this when we did the Incinerate interview. I was going to record my vocals for this latest album. And this is right in the middle where all the social unrest and Hexagon just burned to the ground.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it was the same place. That's crazy. Yeah.
Right, we were talking about this guy. So yeah, it's unfortunately the public landmark is no longer there.
Right? Yeah, that is too bad. But definitely sounds like, a place where, maybe some negative activity just, it seems to attract itself. He picks up a 19-year-old prostitute, Denise Williams, in August of 82. She got suspicious when he was driving her through some pretty scary neighborhoods and not back where he picked her up.
Said he was taking a shortcut.
Right.
She knows that area. She's like, no.
Yeah, they're street smart, so they know something's up. But he turns into a dead end and stabs her 15 times with a screwdriver. Now, Jesse, that sounds like a song titles there, 15 times with a screwdriver. I don't know.
I've had several mornings that started out with around 15 or something.
I've been there.
So Denise is feisty, man. She hits him with a glass bottle, cuts his face up pretty good. Somebody hears her scream. They rush to help. This motherfucker gets in a scuffle with Stefani, who then runs off like the bitch that he is.
Right.
And at home, he realizes his cuts were pretty bad, so he calls for medical assistance.
In the same exact voice.
And they know it's his fucking weepy voice. I mean, goddamn.
Because there is the 911 call of him talking about needing medical assistance, too.
Right.
And that right there is what, to me, fucking kind of negated the fact if he was trying to hide his voice. I really thought that was his, because when he called the hospital, like, why would you try to hide
it that way?
He got himself caught because of that.
Wow. Yeah, what a fucking idiot. During his trial, I heard his ex-wife and a former female roommate testified against him in court that said the 911 calls were Paul Stefani. Yep. So they were like, yeah, that's him.
And Denise was able to, like, pick him out right away, like when during they had all the photos, the photo lineup.
Right.
Like, yeah, it was that motherfucker.
Yeah, they had this dude. He was found guilty for the attempted murder of Denise Williams and the murder of Barbara Simons and got 40 years. In 1997, he did confess to the murder of Kimberly Compton and also a murder from 1982 that they never even realized he did, which was Kathleen Greening. He did not call the police with her like the others, so that's why I wasn't associated with him until later. Stefani is given less than a year to live after a skin cancer diagnosis and dies in 98, so within that year while he was in prison. So, Joey, a pretty fucked up one, but when you got your wife and your roommates both fucking testifying against you, you're up against a brick wall, I think.
Yeah, and that was another like kind of weird part of this story was with his ex-wife, the way she described him also is kind of contrary to what you would kind of think from hearing him, but his actions kind of described, because I'm pretty sure she was talking about, you know, he had violent tendencies, and I think he was very aggressive during sex and things of that nature.
Okay. Well, dude, if you're stabbing somebody 40 fucking times and killing people with ice picks
you got
and
some
shit.
hatred in you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why you make heavy music.
Now, another one I read about, we started looking at these Minnesota cases, was the Red Lake shootings in Red Lake, Minnesota, which was on an Indian reservation. Jesse, how much do you know about that case from 2005?
You know, being from Minnesota, we had talked about it. It made obviously all of our local news and stuff. Now, this place is like 5.5 hours north from me, which is
right.
To be driving down to Chicago. So I mean, it's still a ways away, but you know, being on an Indian reservation in Minnesota, it made all of our news stuff. I don't know the national attention that it got, because you know it didn't really fit the media agenda, right? There was no ARU, no
right.
Yeah,
you know.
And the school shootings have been, you know, just we've had so many of them, unfortunately, with the 24-hour news cycle. It's wall to wall with it. You know, this is a 16-year-old, Jeff Weise, killed his grandfather and his grandfather's girlfriend in their home in March of 2005 before he goes to school. His grandfather was a tribal police sergeant, so Jeff takes his squad car, the weapons, which was a Glock and a Remington 870 12-gauge.
Oh, he went packing, dude.
Action shotgun, man. He was ready to fucking bear, Chris. I mean, he was fucking around.
He was not fucking around at all.
Now, when he had a bulletproof vest, of course, and he goes up to the school, he's a former student. He pulls right up to the front of the school, and he fucking creates some chaos. Security guard, unarmed, comes out at the entrance. He kills him. He kills a teacher and then 5 students. I did read, though, that one of the students stood up to him and stabbed him in the stomach with a pencil.
Yeah, I seen that.
Which is pretty fucking brave, you know. This dude's fucking packing heat and you stab him with a pencil, but that gave enough students enough time to get the fuck out of there. And then another student, I read, shielded a girl from bullets and he died saving her life. So that shit's just fucking awful. The police show up. Of course, they get into it with them. Weise is wounded and then kills himself in one of the classrooms.
He got shot like in his arm and his leg and his chest.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Now, Chris, I was not aware of this case. Did you know much about it?
No, I had no idea until you brought it up. I had never heard of it.
Huh, interesting. Yeah,
Like
I mean, and
Jesse
it's
was
good
saying,
that
the media didn't like push it that bit because it wasn't what on their agenda. They didn't care at the time.
right. Yeah, there's whatever shiny object was shinier at the time. They were probably talking about that. Now, Joey, we were talking earlier about how some of the killers, get into the fame side of this. And do you feel Jeff Weise was doing that in the wake of Columbine? Because supposedly one of the witnesses in the school said he asked her if she believed in God, just like they did at Columbine.
I definitely feel that he had to have been aware of that situation and probably definitely took from that what he could into what he was going to do.
Right.
I feel that a lot of the school shooters and stuff like that, I don't think they go into that too blindly. I think they definitely research others that have done that stuff before them.
Yeah.
Probably obsess about it, to be honest.
Probably, because Columbine was huge.
Yes.
Especially this was, almost 20 years ago.
And he definitely seemed to have the same kind of personality and attitude towards what was going on as they did. So.
Right. He was definitely a troubled kid. His mother was in a car accident that left her brain damaged, so he had to move from Minneapolis to this reservation. Jesse's saying it's 5.5 hours north, so almost like in a different state, almost kind of like with the way we are with Chicago. The Chippewa Indian Reservation. Now, his dad kills himself in 1997. The grandmother died in 2003, and he wasn't getting along with his grandfather's girlfriend. So there is a lot of shit going on, and we all know what it's like being, teenagers. Shit's fucked up.
Well, I mean, it didn't help that his freaking his mom couldn't have him on the reservation. He was forced to be pushed out because he wasn't married. So he wasn't allowed to live on the reservation.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was pretty fucked up. That's the way your life begins. You're instantly pushed aside from your family.
Yeah, you're like not wanted anywhere type thing. Now, Jesse, these school shootings are beyond fucked up. You got a building full of people that are vulnerable. I mean, I guess this is a big discussion, but what do you think about, armed guards at schools? I mean, is it something that would help or deter this or attract more of it?
Well, you look at Parkland. They had an armed guard for that school shooting, and
right.
So that didn't work.
Right.
He's facing criminal charges for that, but I think ex-military would be good. You got guys that are employed, and
right.
There's an activist, Second Amendment activist named Colion Noel, who talks about arming teachers. And in this instance, there was a teacher that shielded some students, and that teacher was shot.
Right.
So the teacher had a firearm. Would it have happened? But again, fight or flight training. Who knows? And obviously, I'm not in the position to.
Right.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was interesting. Chris, Joey, what do you guys think about it while we're on that subject of the school shootings?
Right. I mean, you're always going to try to do whatever is the safest for the children, and
right.
I mean,
I like Jesse's idea of the former military.
Yeah,
I'm former Army.
I'm not about
and I mean, you go through a lot of training for that. Now, obviously, it was a long time ago, so you'd want to refresh some of these older guys. But, hey, somebody who knows how to use a weapon and hopefully would use a little more discretion on when to shoot and when not to.
Yep.
It's a huge thing. I mean, it really is. Rules of engagement are huge in a wartime situation, especially in the type of fighting we do nowadays, door to door in these villages and shit. That's a whole different ball game. I mean, when I was in the Army, I went through the urban warfare course at Fort Hood, Texas, but I didn't have to go through it fully because I was kind of out of active duty at the time and getting ready to get out on a medical. But the training those guys go through is amazing.
Yeah.
And those guys are very skilled, man.
Yeah. And I think, fucking pertaining to that, so you've got your kids and you've got these school shootings, and it fucking takes national fucking storm.
Right.
And there's fucking debates every time, and it fucking
Right.
causes all this uproar. So what's the fucking solution to that I never ever thought about until 2020? Pull all the fucking kids out and teach them from your fucking laptops like they've been doing through the COVID. And that's why something like that never would have seemed like a reality now all of a sudden does seem like one.
Sure.
Weird shit.
That is weird. Yeah, who would have thought before all this? Jesse, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
There hasn't been a single school shooting this year.
That's
Right.
true.
That is pretty fucked up, ain't it?
Yeah, that's a fucked up way to look at it. Now, I also saw another crazy case, David Brom, and I do know that Macabre did write a song about him. He killed his parents, his brother, who was 9, his sister, age 14, with a fucking axe. I mean, this is
brutally.
some brutal shit.
I mean, the axe in general is
56
brutal,
fucking strikes
Yeah.
to his family. I mean, holy shit, he's only 16. This goes down in Rochester, Minnesota. Jesse, I think I saw what I was reading. This is kind of a more upscale kind of area. Are you familiar with Rochester?
It's a bigger college town, and there's like one of the largest hospitals in the nation.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's a big fucking hospital then.
Yeah, and obviously attracting, a lot of professionals. So you're going to get the, nicer neighborhoods. And this is where he was. I mean, he wasn't in a bad area. He did have an older brother who was not living at home. So the police cleared him. He was not involved. But this is a very interesting story. Apparently, his parents were very strict Catholics. He got into a fight with his dad about some music he was listening to. Joey, did you send him some Goremonger? Are you the one that fucking started this whole thing?
No, that was some septicemic.
I don't know. Maybe I sent him a low 12 CD back in the day. I don't know, but it's pretty crazy. Chris, this dude just raged the fuck out with an axe, and he just wanted to listen to some fucking metal, man. That's all he wanted.
Raging out with an axe is like being nice because like his mom and dad were in bed,
Right.
and he got both of them, so like he had to swing on one, pull the axe, and
Yeah.
instantly get the other
And
one.
then his brother and sister, man.
Yeah, and
That's
he
fucked.
one of the girls that he went to school with, he like straight pulled her aside like on the way to school, talking about like explaining how he killed his parents and his siblings.
Right.
In detail. Yeah.
Talking about I kept hitting dad and he kept getting up.
Yeah.
I kept hitting dude. Like explain this to this chick and she
That's
testified
fucked.
against him and shit.
Wow.
That is pretty fucked up, dude.
And I thought it was crazy, Chris. It actually happened on my birthday, February 18th.
Day after my birthday.
Yeah, day after your birthday, 1988. So a little bit after my birthday, but my birthday.
Right.
In a pretty nice neighborhood, about 60,000 people. So it's about the size of Bloomington, which is where we are. The police found a bloody axe in the basement. David was arrested using a phone booth. When somebody spotted him there, his handprint was found on the axe. He had been in school the morning after the murders with his hair all dyed black and shaved on the sides like basically a mohawk.
Do you remember another David with an axe? Didn't David Hendricks use an axe?
Oh, he
Yes.
did.
Isn't
Yeah,
that fucked up?
that is fucked up. I never thought of that.
Killed his fucking family with a fucking
There you
axe.
go.
God damn,
There you
dude.
go. Around the same time too.
That's weird.
I'm guessing it was, punk, hardcore, or metal, but I did try to find what it was he was
That he
listening
wanted to hear, yeah.
and I couldn't find it. I was so pissed. The night before the murders, he told a friend he was going to kill his parents, and once a teacher heard about it, they called the police. So this shit starts a chain reaction. And on his birthday, October of 1989, he's found guilty, and a week later, the same jury rejected his claim that he was insane. He's given 3 consecutive life terms to run concurrently. He's going to be eligible for parole when he's 70. Not seeing him getting out anytime soon. Jesse, that is fucked up, killing your family with an axe. Jesus.
Like 56 swings. Like,
Yeah. That would be exhausting, man.
onto like a bed. Like, this dude is the Barry Bonds of murders. That
Shot some
Nice.
steroids. That's funny. Maybe the axe is corked, like a cork bat,
right?
That's funny. Now, Joey, it's crazy to think that someone would do this over an argument about music, but I mean, all 4 of us here, can somewhat relate I'm sure. I know my personal case, I was kicked out of the house at 19 years old because my old man didn't like my Aussie shirts and my long hair.
Get the fuck out of my
kicked
house.
me out. So, I mean, shit happens, but I mean, Joey, right?
Well, and it's kind of funny because, of course, you know, reading through the notes for the podcast and shit for this week, and you brought this question up, and, you know, the same thing. I totally understand. My parents are actually pretty cool with me, but I was also kind of respectful. Like, I didn't just fucking blast their ears out with it and shit.
That's
but
cool.
they knew what I was listening to. But it was wild because when, you know, the way that you worded the question and everything definitely makes me think of the case of Jordan Davis down in Florida, where Michael Dunn, him and his girlfriend, pull up next to them at a gas station, and they're playing their music next to him, playing some rap really loud or whatever.
Yeah.
And the dude ends up getting in an altercation and shooting and killing the 17-year-old boy.
Oh, wow.
All over
the music he was
because of
listening
music.
to.
Oh, wow.
So it was an argument over music that resulted in a
Interesting.
death, and it's like, you know, the same kind of situation. Was it that serious that you had to go to that extent?
Right. Because
But-
as mad as I was at my old man for kicking me out of the house,
You weren't trying to
I wasn't
chop him
coming
up.
back with
Right.
an axe, you know? So it's just what makes somebody break like that is fucking nuts. Chris, I did read that David Brom was suffering from depression, and he had tried to kill himself twice. He had been talking about this for months, about killing his family. He's telling friends about it. We've heard about this kind of shit before with these people. I mean, it's unfortunate. You know, Jesse brought up about suicide, you know, in his area with the, you know, snowbound and cabin fever type situation, but it's awful.
Yeah, I can only imagine being. It's almost like Norway, dude. That's why they play black metal.
Right.
But but depression fucking sucks, and motherfuckers, if they ain't got somebody to fucking talk to,
Right.
they're bound to fucking.
Yeah, so anybody
Snap
listening to
off.
this that's suffering, you know, please reach out. There's a lot of outlets, phone numbers and stuff you can get a hold of somebody. Call a friend. I mean, just reach out. We've seen it. I've had personal friends have taken their own lives, and it's fucking awful. It leaves a lot of people fucking devastated behind. So anything else, Minnesota, that you guys want to talk about? Any killers I left out? There's a bunch. I mean, I had to whittle it down. And if there's any you guys wanted to talk about I didn't.
I was checking these guys out. I saw some, but I was like, let's roll with what we got. You got anything specific you would like to talk about, Jesse, that you checked out down there?
Yeah, not as far as actual serial killers. I mean, I've seen some fucked up murders and stuff like that, but not.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Like I said, there's some interesting cases. I just picked the three that I thought were the most interesting. My research for this one was done with a few documentaries I watched on YouTube, mostly on Weepy Voiced Killer, plus a few websites I found. There's a list There's a whole list of murderers in Minnesota. You can click on them, and they've got little bios about them and what they did, and pretty interesting stuff.
It's crazy you can do that for any state, too. Like,
It is.
let's see how many murders there have been in this state.
I did hear a couple of good podcasts about the Weepy Voiced Killer, Paul Stefani, so there is some stuff out there if you're interested.
Yeah.
Next time, we're going to be doing the controversial case of the Boston Strangler. I got to say, I didn't know a lot about this one. I've been watching some stuff about him. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Did he or didn't he do it?
This one's always been huge to me because growing up in Connecticut,
Sure, close by.
right? But the thing with the Boston Strangler is when I was younger as a kid, that wasn't a solved case,
Right.
So it had the feel of a Jack the Ripper.
Some kind of
Okay.
ominous
And then
thing,
over
yeah.
time, DeSalvo became convicted and found like legitimately guilty of the crime, even
Right.
though they thought it was him anyway.
Right.
You just didn't know.
That's
so,
true.
So it had this whole fucking urban legend
Yeah,
feel
it took
to it.
DNA to be able to find
Right.
to solve it. So it's a very interesting case, Albert DeSalvo. We'll get into that next week. Definitely going to be a good one. But Jesse, we really appreciate you coming on to talk about some Minnesota craziness. And while we got you, I mean, how's everything going with Incinerate, the new album, and all that?
It seems to be doing really well. I haven't seen like a scathing negative review or anything
Well, that's
yet.
good.
That's fucking badass.
Dude, it's fucking amazing, man. It sounds so fucking good. You guys did a great job with it, really.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. And then what about Septicemic? Anything you want to put out with that? You play bass and sing in that band, so anything? I know COVID's got everybody on their ass, but I mean, anything new? I know we interviewed you not that long ago.
Yeah, we have a new drummer that's going to be playing with Kyle Harden from Carnographer. So he was just at the
HOI.
HOI, yeah.
Fucking A.
So he's drumming for us, and we got we're going to try a show in South Dakota and Nebraska here on the day after Black Friday. And
wow.
Hopefully those go off without a hitch. I know their COVID rates have gone through the roof, but
well, good luck, man.
Yeah, good luck. I hope it works out for you, man. Fuck
yeah,
dude.
Please don't be a stranger. We'd love to report what you're doing. If you got anything, just get a hold of us, and we appreciate it. And our listeners, hopefully you guys get that new Incinerate. We'll link to Incinerate in the episode description, so you can get on there, buy some merch. I know I bought a shirt. CK bought a CD. We try to do that and support the bands, and that's what you guys out there need to do, is buy the merch, help the bands out, because this is definitely fucked up as they keep shutting stuff down again. Here in Illinois, we're facing that tomorrow.
Fucking right, dude.
With the restaurants and the bars again. So, fucked up. So, I think we've done our share of murder tonight. I hear CK.
Thank you, Jesse, man.
Fuck yeah, Jesse. Thank you very much. But, Joey, as we leave here, what the fuck do we need to do, man?
Let's get our septicemically incinerated metal on.
Known the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and murder metal mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wild Van Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization. The one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs!
All right, got the great metal motherfucker on.
Hell
What's
yeah,
up,
we
CK?
So,
What's up, man? How you holding up? The world has not come to an end yet. It's election night. And we're not going to talk about politics, but the world is not burned to the ground yet, so we're still okay.
God damn it, that's depressing.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, it's a mess. But yeah, so I hope everybody out there is safe, because it's just world just melting down over shit over everything, and I'm sure this is going to get people fired up.
But we're still podcasting on election night.
That's right.
We are.
That's right. Yeah. We don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck. I got a beer. I'm happy.
And we got CK on, of course, to talk about some metal. And CK, you got a good old school band I don't know a damn thing about. So, man,
they're a weird band that has a weird history, and the band's called Agent Steel.
Yeah.
And
the name is odd to me, even Agent Steel. It sounds like a comic book character.
They were formed like in '84. Originally, John Cyrus formed it with the drummer Chuck Profis. And again, it's one of those bands, I'll mention a few members who people may know or be familiar with. But it's one of those bands where it's a revolving door policy. Originally, John Cyrus was a guitarist with a very early version of Megadeth.
All right.
He left Megadeth and decided to form Agent Steel. Now, Agent Steel has a weird connection with UFOs. It's like the first two, the first couple albums. That's what it dealt with, was this fascination with UFOs and the Illuminati and all that stuff.
All right. I did see a couple pictures where they're standing like by UFOs and shit, because I looked them up. I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck this is.
Yeah. And John Cyrus is another one with a distinctive voice where you either love or hate. The first two albums are classics, which were on Combat Records. It was Skeptic's Apocalypse and Unstoppable Force. And there was an EP, Mad Locust Rising, in between those, which was also awesome. And I think Mad Locust Rising is on the re-release of Unstoppable Force.
Right, they put them together.
Yeah, Skeptic's Apocalypse came out in '85, and it was, again, John Sears. Once you hear his voice, there's nobody else who sounds like him. It's a high pitch, kind of nasally voice.
That makes me really not want to listen to it.
Chris, you probably wouldn't like it. You probably dig the music, but the voice, his vocals, you probably wouldn't dig. You know, the first album came out on Combat, did really well. You know, at that time, 85, 86, 87, that's when thrash metal was, in its heyday. And Agent Seal is one of those bands that you know, I found out from the Professor from Phoenix Records.
Oh, yeah.
Going back. Unstoppable Force came out in 87. Or actually, let me rewind a little. After Skeptic's Apocalypse came out, there was discussions that Capitol Records was looking to sign them. Something happened where Capitol Records they didn't like something that John Sears did and withdraw the offer. And the Unstoppable Force album appeared on Combat Records. Now, after Combat Records released it, there was some weird thing where I don't know if the members of Agent Seal or John Sears or whatever, they had a disagreement with Combat Records. Something happened which I never heard of, and I read an interview with John Sears where they were basically put on probation.
What?
They're put on probation by the label until their contract was up.
What does being put in probation by a label mean?
I have no clue. I have no clue what that means. He didn't really go into it.
Yeah,
All he
that's
said
strange.
Was that they were put on probation until the contract was up. I don't know if it had something to do with maybe they talked behind Combat's back with Capitol Records.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that.
Was it a
Either way,
was it a biker club thing? Now you're a pro, but you got to do what I say.
I have no clue.
That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know, and one of the members at this time during that period is probably a guitarist that me and Pete will probably know more than probably you two guys. Bernie Weise.
Yeah, I'm not
Weise.
sure.
Yeah.
He played with Fates Warning for a little while.
Right.
Pleasant Shade of Grey and I think Disconnected on those two albums, and he toured with them for a while. Also, James Murphy played with them around this time as well.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was, and Kurt Kofelt was an original member. He went on to form the thrash band Holy Terror, which is another killer band.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorites.
Badass.
And the rest of the people, there's probably like literally 30 people, which
just got another one of those whole lists of people being
million
out.
members,
Yeah.
And I look at these names, I can tell you like maybe half of what they, or 3/4 of who the fuck they are.
Right.
But anyway, they disbanded in 86. The original band minus John Sears got back talking in the late 90s. They reformed, and they actually put out a couple of albums. They reformed with a singer. I think his name was Bruce Hall.
Okay.
And they put out his voice. He had a little bit more gruffier voice, kind of like a Zetro type
Right.
deal.
Right.
That kind of deal.
That's cool.
So he was totally different than John Sears. And they put out Mega Conspiracy in 99, Order of the Illuminati in 2003. In between that time of 99 and 2003, they changed their name to Order of Illuminati because John Sears was giving
damn.
John Sears was giving them shit for using Agent Steel, even though he had no rights.
Wow.
He was just
So
talking
they
shit.
didn't
He was just jealous and shit.
Right.
Probably.
So to keep the peace, they changed from Order of the Illuminati, and eventually said, "Fuck him. We're going back to Agent Steel," and that album came under the moniker Agent Steel. But the album was called Order of the Illuminati, and the third album with this lineup was Alien Enigma. All three albums are great. Possible to find, but great.
He said impossible to find, but
do they all have their own sound to them?
Yeah, it's different than definitely different than the first two. It's kind of what the sound was around the time. Not the new metal. It was thrash,
right?
But a little bit heavier sound.
But you know how like the argument is whenever you get a band and then all of a sudden they switch direction. It's like, why don't you just fucking start a new band if that's what you're gonna do? So it's kind of like what they did with change the name, and it's like, well, we're doing.
No, it was close to what the original concept was.
That's cool.
And between 2007 and now, there's been lineup changes. John Sears came back, left, came back, left, came back. Now, a couple years ago, they recorded a new album, which is supposedly going to be released in 2021. It's actually got a pre-order for April of 2021. And there's been demos released. And people have been killing John Sears on his vocals, saying that they are auto-tuned.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
The demos aren't really what you would think from Agent Steel. So he's been trying to prove that his voice does sound like that. He's not auto-tuned. It's not anything from the studio. That's what his voice sounds like. I really haven't heard anything from it, but it's called No Other Gods Before Me, and again, that's scheduled to come out in 2021. See what happens. Like I said, it's on Iron Dissonance Records. It's on their website. It's scheduled. Supposedly it's done. And see how that goes.
That's cool.
But then again, things could change between now and then, especially with this COVID and
right. Yeah.
all that shit. So
definitely,
it's all fucked up.
Definitely. Now, CK, go ahead.
But definitely a band you might want to check out.
I'll check them out, but that whole description of the super...
I'm not they're okay. I like the music, but I'm not a huge fan of the vocals. But I could listen to it, but it's not a band I would go seek out and jam to. But hey, them one opinion. So go check that out. And CK, you got a Lost Classic again for us.
Another band from that era out of California, a band called Abattoir, Only Safe Place. That's their second album. Great thrash band. Not too many people remember them or know about them. But they were pretty well known back in 85, 86, 87.
Abattoir, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look them up. I'm not familiar. I don't believe.
They have two albums. That Only Safe Place is their second. The first one was can't remember the name of it offhand, but your typical thrash metal at the time. Not high pitched vocals, so it's nothing like that. But
I don't mind some high pitched vocals. Like I said, I'll have to check out Agent Steel. I've never heard.
Yeah, you might
so
dig
I don't
it.
know.
But yeah, it's a unique, like CK said, very distinctive voice.
It's fucking heavy metal.
I like Guns N' Roses, so that's high pitched nasally vocals.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got
this
their
is a
own
little
take.
bit different.
That's cool, but yeah, I'm not familiar with Abattoir, man.
Yeah, they were also on Combat at the time. Had two albums. Check them out.
Okay.
I think they're available to stream on streaming platforms.
Right on, hell yeah.
Now, which podcast do you guys remember? Which podcast did we use the word abattoir quite a few times? Do you remember the person we featured? That would have been before Joey's time.
Yeah.
Unless you were guesting. No,
it was
Catherine Knight. There you go.
Man,
Very
that's
good.
where she worked
She
at.
worked
She
at
did
the
work at
abattoir. Yes. The slaughterhouse.
Little tie-in.
Nice. All right. Well, I hear some fucking heavy ass thrash music from the UK coming on, which means we're going to talk about what the fuck we've been listening to. Hell yeah, man. Some Onslaught 666 fucking 6. And that means
Oh, God.
oh no, the Weepy Voiced Killer is back.
Shit.
Back from the grave. So that means what has everybody been listening to? I tell you, I got on a little bit of a Carcass kick. They got that new EP out.
Yeah.
But I went back and was listening to Necroticism.
Such a good
So
album.
sick.
Yep.
Heartwork is amazing. Not a huge fan of Swan Song, but I love Necroticism and Heartwork. And also, I can't stop listening to that new Armored Saint.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. The whole album just rips, man.
Dude,
what about you,
fucking
Chris?
right, dude. I've been checking out that fucking new Mr. Bungle, dude. I'm like, holy
I need
fuck.
to listen to that because
God.
you were talking about that.
God,
Killer.
damn, dude, it's fucking
Is it
so
good?
it's so badass. I
Killer.
love it.
Oh wow!
Man.
Is it just that song yet, or is it the whole thing?
The album's been released.
Oh, okay.
It
All
got
right.
released last Friday, or like on Friday, right?
Okay, yeah.
CK?
Yeah, it's actually a re-recording of their original demo
Oh, okay.
Dude, it's
with
Scotty
Lombardo
and
and Scotty
yeah.
and-
Nice.
It's fucking nasty, man.
Nice. All right. Very cool. Joey, what about you, man?
Jamming that new Incinerate album.
Yeah, that's
jamming-
sick, man.
I've had Dying Fetus, Destroy the Opposition in.
Oh,
Yeah.
And right now in the car, I got Lord Gore Resickened.
nice.
Yeah.
What about you, CK? You got some new Connecticut metal in today, did you not?
Yeah, I got the new Fates. Unfortunately, I didn't get it in time to listen to it before the podcast, but I will be doing live Facebook on it on Thursday.
Awesome.
I've been listening to New Armored Saint, another band called Spirit Adrift, which Mark Sugar turned me on to. We
Really?
were interviewing.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's that like, CK?
kind of like a Trouble type
Okay.
sounding band.
Okay.
I remember him talking
re-
about that. Yeah.
Really digging them.
Chicago
Like Chris,
band?
I don't know if it's Chicago or not. It
Okay.
might be.
Just curious.
I'm not sure offhand. Like Chris said, the new Mr. Bungle.
Yeah.
I saw you checking out that Zach Sabbath.
Yeah, I seen that
Zach
too.
Sabbath. I've been listening to that like
That's
all the
killer,
time.
man. That's fucking
The-
ridiculously
just
good.
the way he gets the nuances of the original.
Yeah, I love it. He does such
You know,
a good
the-
job.
The solos, note from note,
Nails it.
The way he pans the stuff from left to right is the way
Right.
Sabbath did it.
Yep. Yeah, the attention to detail with that shit he does is amazing, man. Really is amazing. Fuck yeah. Now, Joey, speaking of amazing, we had that Heart of Illinois show on Saturday on Halloween in fucking Forest,
Yeah.
Illinois, the middle of nowhere, but it was great. It was a
It
good
was.
time, man.
That was I was telling people this is the 6th year I did it is the most stressful. No matter all the shit I had to go through any other year, dealing with 2020 and trying
Just
to
in general,
yeah,
as
trying to
Right.
do an event in 2020. Holy shit! Like, I know why
Right.
everybody.
Are we
fucking-
doing it? Are we not doing it?
Right.
Are we doing it?
So we ended up doing it.
And it was
you know,
fucking
yeah,
badass.
we did it in a perfect spot. I mean,
yeah, small bar in a small town.
yeah, Horseshoe Saloon in Forest, Illinois. I mean,
Yeah, they were
Lori's
cool.
the owner. Nothing but love for them. Chrissy was the bartender.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Everything
my daughter's
about
aunt.
that.
My daughter's aunt was the bartender. and
Awesome.
shit, so-
Yeah, they were just so nice. The staff was super cool, and I think we probably sold them more alcohol in one day there
Yeah.
than they might have
my
had
God,
for most
dude.
of the year.
I
There
grew
was a
up.
lot of alcohol being consumed.
Yes.
I grew
It
up
was.
going to that bar like after I turned 21 and shit, and that was like my spot, you know. And it was down the block from where my parents lived at the time.
Oh,
They've
cool.
since moved, and I lived.
Right.
I had an apartment not far from there too, so I like. And plus, it's Forest, like fucking.
It's the only
2
bar
minutes you
in
get
town.
to every house in town.
Right.
But so, you know, this was the first year that I did it in an actual venue, instead of like at somebody's
House
house
party
or
or
something
the
like
cabin.
that.
Right.
That's always been the case. It was always BYOB. And now this time I did it here at this venue, and fuck, it was right on. Everybody was happy.
It was great. We had quite a few listeners come over to the table and say hi. And man, Stephanie Ruskinoff coming from Toledo,
all the way from Toledo.
5.5 hours to come.
Thank you, Stephanie. It was awesome
Stephanie,
seeing you,
and she
dude.
gave us a gift, Chris. What did she give
gave
us,
us
man?
this candle that looks like part of your spinal column.
Yeah.
And it
So
looks pretty
awesome.
fucking
Yeah,
badass.
it does look
we'll
badass.
post a picture of it on
Yeah,
there.
we'll
but
post a
It
picture.
looks fucking nasty, dude.
But she drove there, and I had to leave at 6, so I was hoping she would get there before I had to go, and I did get to meet her. I know we all three did, and she was really cool, and it was very awesome of her to drive all that way to come support it. So
It's wild that, like, you know,
It's definitely awesome.
hell yeah. And some of our listeners, like, even though they're like from other areas, are people that we've gotten to fucking meet in real life, and people that you guys have met through the convention.
Fucking
yeah,
right,
it's just so cool, man, to actually finally meet people. There was one
That's
guy
the metal community, bro.
Yeah, there was one guy that came up to me as I was getting ready to leave, and he's like, "Man, I listen to you guys every week, man. That's the fucking shit. I love it. You know, fuck yeah,
Fucking
keep going."
Hell yeah, dude.
And I didn't get his name. It was just kind of noisy and a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
but
Wait,
thank
It's
you.
it's never noisy at a metal show.
Of course
Shut the
not.
fuck
Well,
up.
it was between bands.
It was a busy time.
It
for
was
sure.
busy, and yeah, a lot of people
Yes, it
were
was.
buzzing
It was a
around.
good
And
time,
I
man.
always know what it was like loading gear in with a busy crowd and having to say "excuse me" like 300 fucking times.
Right.
So I was trying just to stay out of people's way because I know how that is. So
Yeah,
I
the
could
bands were
completely
fucking
relate.
badass.
Yeah,
so
I wanted to-
Bands tore it the
Yeah,
fuck
I
up.
wanted to give a real quick rundown.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I
Dude.
just wanted to name off all the bands that ended up playing. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, it's 2020 right now. The fact that anybody would, you know, make the trip or come out or be in the situation that we're in is super appreciative. But we had, you know, Treachery Untold. They ended the night. They were my
Yes,
after
they
party.
did.
But
They
for
were
the fourth
fucking-
straight year, they fucking played. Fucking great guys. Coop lost his mom. Cooper, the bassist,
the
lost
bass
his mom that night. So,
Oh, my God.
So thinking about you,
Yeah, Coop,
it was
fucking
kind
love
of
you, brother,
It
dude.
was kind of crazy last year. Vitupre headlined HOI at Greg's,
Right.
and the guitarist mom passed while he was out here.
Oh, my God.
So it's like, okay, let's not make that a habit. But anyway,
Yeah, right.
Exactly,
but regardless, the Treacher and Told they were badass. 4th year straight. Club and Seal started the show. Club and Seal's Van Antarctica.
Right. That was crazy,
dude.
man.
Him and Ian, that was a fucking great job.
I liked
Yeah,
it,
that was
dude.
their
That was a
first
fucking
show,
great
man.
job.
Yeah.
First thing
We
they
did
ever-
a helmet cover. We did Unsung.
Dude,
That was cool.
Dude,
Right.
the Unsung cover
Oh,
was
that's
so
an awesome
fucking
Yeah.
song.
But no, their
You
set
could
was
tell
great.
that. You could tell though. Sorry, Ian, but you could tell that he lost his breath a couple times during
yeah.
the rap song. But I would have too. God damn.
Yeah.
But Josh, you know, the guitarist, and he's
Yeah,
the
he
one that
did
ran
sound,
sound.
yeah.
he
Josh
did
is a
sound
good
all
dude,
night.
man.
Made it sound fucking awesome for
Yeah.
everybody.
It was a
dude.
new system he had too.
Yeah.
He was talking to me about it.
was awesome.
It was ripping, man.
So then after that, Burnt to a Crisp, which is me and Alex.
Yeah, that was great,
from
dude.
Crotch Ripper.
Yeah.
We only
So
had 3
cool to see
songs, but,
Alex, man.
dude, he's such
He's
a good
such a
dude to
nice
party
guy,
with,
yeah.
Then we had Blood Feud play, which is our buddies from Pontiac.
Hell yeah,
Definitely
they tore it
fucking-
up.
Yep.
Yep.
Dude, they did. They had a
Skip
great
fucking
set.
bringing it.
Interspecies Erotica, Greg and Cody Durst.
Hillbilly Slam,
Jody,
bro.
Cody Durst.
Yeah.
Good to see him at the show.
I've
man.
seen them play. You know, I played with them a handful of times. That was definitely the best I've ever seen them.
I'm sorry I missed them.
dude.
I left right before they came on.
You know, we'll
were
have another
fucking
chance.
Yeah,
smashed.
I know, but I wish, you know, in hindsight, we should have filmed the whole thing.
No, that's for sure.
That
There was a
would've
lot
been
of stuff I
awesome.
wanted to do. You know,
Right. That would have been good though for a DVD.
Oh, absolutely. Jesse came out, our buddy Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
And him
Butt
and Cole.
chugging? Did he butt chug?
He
No.
didn't. Jesse's.
Was he clothed on stage?
Yeah,
was
he
totally
was.
clothed.
He was.
Wow, he wasn't naked
No.
or barely.
No,
fucking-
No,
But,
not wearing
but him,
dresses.
he said it was the most sober he's ever been on stage.
Yeah, he was talking
Wow.
about. He's like, for some reason, I got picked to be the DD.
Yeah.
So
Oh
So-
wow!
so him and Cole
So
came out
that
and did
makes
Blondie
sense. He
Fest.
came up to me and I actually had a conversation
normal
with him for
one?
a couple of minutes,
So,
just
yeah.
a couple of minutes.
Shout
but-
out to Jess.
Yeah, Jesse's great, man.
Yeah, him and Cole did Blondie Fester, which is their project they're doing, which is cool. And
It's
then-
straight up porno grind.
Oh yeah, that was some porno grind. And then
Porno.
Phil, which I just realized I never posted the pics of his set. He was asking me, and I fucking went back and looked, and I just must have fucking.
Like, God
skipped
damn
him.
it, dude. Fuck.
But anyway, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder, our fucking boy,
Right.
Trash Dick. So he played, and then Virulent Excision. those dudes came down from Chicago.
Goddamn, Miguel and them boys.
And fucking, their set was so fucking heavy. The fucking crowd response was enormous. They came out all dressed fucking choloed out and did like a brujeria theme thing. I mean, it was Halloween, so it was awesome. You know?
And they're Mexican.
Yeah.
So they're just straight up going full on outline with it.
Their fucking set was so heavy.
It was so gnarly. He had that fucking machete just walking around fucking. It was so good.
I did a Goremonger set, which everybody told me was pretty fucking badass. Obviously, I never know from my standpoint.
I know. It's hard to know.
Carnographer played after me, which that was my headliner. And those guys from Omaha, Nebraska.
They just kill it.
Dude, fucking huge. And they fucking supplied backline with their cabs and helped with the drums. Like, I couldn't have asked for anything else. And they were, I mean, they're fucking awesome dudes. Like,
they were nice guys. I went to the table. I bought CK a CD and a mask.
So you're going to get some Carnographer shit, boy.
Dude, they're fucking huge, bro.
Yeah, but I got to play with them in South Dakota, which was awesome. And they were so fucking nice out there that it just made sense. You know,
right?
And then Putrid Liquid, they played fucking last, and that's my boy Regan and fucking Angelo from Dayton, Ohio, also.
Okay,
and they just did some straight blasting ass fucking gore grind shit.
On it.
So fucking good. But you know, something else I wanted to say, and I said this at the fest, and I just want to say this again here, was I went to 3 fucking major shows this year, and that's probably all I'm going to go to the way that's looking.
Right.
The first being I went to Daytonian Death Fest in Ohio back like literally the day before the COVID shit closed everything down.
Right.
And then I went up to South Dakota, me and Chris did, to Slam Dakota Fest.
Which was fucking awesome. Thank you, Les.
And then, of course, HOI. So what was so fucking cool about that was that...
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
You forgot the New Kids on the Block show.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But
backstage and everything.
Yeah. But the best part about it was... so the Daytonian Death Fest promoter, Regan, is the drummer for Putrid Liquid, so he was there. And then the vocalist for Chronographer, his girlfriend Les, is their manager. And so she was there with them, and she's the one that set up Slam Dakota Fest.
Okay.
So it was like all the fucking promoters
so
got
it was
together.
like all supporting, all there together.
That's great.
Not to mention that, you know, Vernon and Excision, the singer Miguel, he's the one that puts on Chicago Domination Fest.
Right.
So right there was another big promoter in the same spot. So
that's awesome.
I mean, this shit's hard. Fucking keeping it together is going to be it's probably only going to get rougher for bands for a little bit.
Right.
But, you know, whatever we can do to keep it fucking alive, we're doing it. So.
Fucking right, man.
That's
Keep
awesome.
Yeah, huge thanks to anyone listening that was there or that supported or listened to our fucking bonus episode about the HOI.
Yeah, we had almost 800 listens to that. That's fucking great.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing
pretty damn
for
good.
a fucking...
For a bonus episode about a specific event in Central Illinois. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So very, very cool. Again, thanks to Stephanie from Toledo for donating the spine. And she also gave me a DVD and a book that's about that story. When she first started listening to us, she sent in a comment about this couple, this vampire couple from Florida that I think they killed the girl's parents and then went on a road trip with another couple to like New Orleans or some shit.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty fucking wild, but she gave me this book and this DVD, and so maybe we'll have to do that story. And if we do, we'll have to have Stephanie on.
I have to refresh because I don't remember, but I do know the case you're talking about.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I would definitely.
It really
like to do
is.
it.
So it's funny that after she's been listening now for quite a while, and she's a member of our 666
You're going to be on a podcast with us again soon.
That's right.
So
Stephanie, warm up your vocal cords when we eventually do that story. So that should be good.
I don't think she'll mind.
No, I don't think so either. And so anybody got any metal, anything at all that they want to put out here? Anything we left out?
That's it for now.
Yeah,
all right. Well, we've done plenty of metal. So, CK, what the fuck do we need to do next?
Oh my God, we need to get our mayhem on.
Separate, dominate, we need to see the signs. When to believe, not contemplate, division of the mind. Or of death and slave to gods with vessels small and blood. To work the earth for all its work, to free the gold from mud.
Alaskan hunting trip. Can I help you?
Hell yeah. I saw your ad in Bow Hunter magazine who was interested in booking a trip.
Well, we are running a December special. If you're interested in our prostitution hunting extravaganza, we let out a group of 6 prostitutes loose in the woods, and you have an hour to kill as many as possible from a tree stand.
What? Did you say prostitutes? What the hell?
Yep, and they're fun to hunt, and we find the most hardy whores possible to make your hunting experience the best ever.
That's just fucked up. I don't think so.
Robert Hansen out.
Fuck yeah, man. And Hansen's coming up on the list, too.
I'm stoked on that.
We got Robert Hansen coming up on the Alaskan fucking hunting trip, so should be interesting. And, of course, CK's on still with us. You doing good over there, CK?
Hanging in there.
Fuck
Bro,
yeah.
Chris.
What up?
I'm going to pull it up. Have you ever seen that picture of Robert Hansen? And he looks like our buddy Jake, though.
Wait, Hansen looks like Green River?
I'll pull it up.
Before that, though, was Agent Steel with the song Fashioned from Dust, and that was the latter singer, right, CK, you said?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So just to correct the record, in case you heard that and go, wow, that guy doesn't sound nasal. He actually sounds pretty badass.
If John sure sounds like this.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not into that. But that dude that we just heard, that's pretty good stuff.
I didn't mind that at all.
No. So, all right, well, we're in mayhem, guys, which means we got some stories to tell. And I heard CK says he's got a little mayhem to share.
God
so
damn, it's always poop
that
stories.
should
I
be
look
fun.
forward to these.
No, this one has nothing
Not
to
a
do with
poop
poop.
story. All right, well, that's
No.
okay. What you got?
Poop stories are still fun, though.
Back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Bethel had a CD distribution warehouse.
Like Columbia
where it
House
was
shit?
No, they actually distribute to like independent record stores.
Oh, word up. All right.
It was like one of the biggest ones in the country. And it seemed like almost every friend I had, except for Pete. I don't think Pete or I ever worked there.
No, I never
But
did, but I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, every friend I had either worked there or, well, it's closed now. They sold it to some place in Florida years ago. But it seemed like every person I knew worked there.
I mean,
so
it's a CD distribution place. You're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, dude! I'm fucking taking all the CDs I
right.
can get."
Dude, you wouldn't believe how many promos I got for free because
motherfuckers
friends would bring them. Friends would get them for free, bring them, and if anything they didn't want. I at one time had 4 different friends working there, so I got a lot of good stuff free.
Oh yeah,
nice.
But at the time, my friend Rob used to work there. He quit and wasn't working there anymore. My friend Mike, who worked there until the day it closed, after the last day after it was sold, he worked there until the day it closed. I would say one of the perks of working there was sometimes like at certain shows, you got on the guest list.
Oh, those are nice, yeah.
So you would get in for free, like at Toad's Place, certain shows. But this one show, Armored Saint, came up, and my friend Mike said, I could get you and Rob on the guest list. He goes, I'm not going because I'm not a fan of Armored Saint.
CK's like,
But
I am, motherfucker.
I go, fuck yeah. But he goes, we got a problem. He goes, I got to show ID when you get there. And we've been to so many shows that I didn't realize that. I forgot that you had to show ID.
Like work ID or?
Any ID, just showing that that's you.
Okay.
Right.
So.
But they knew who you were because you've been there all the time.
Toad's Place, they
He's like, dude.
They didn't know me from Jack.
No.
Even though I've been there probably like thousands of times. But my friend Rob had a idea of getting this kit to take one of Mike's old IDs.
Oh boy.
And putting his picture on it.
Nice. Hell yeah. Fucking making that fake ID. Get it.
At the time, this is a $20 show.
Right.
So we're like, cool, we could get an extra shirt. You know, don't pay admission. We get an extra shirt instead.
Fuck
And what year was this?
Like 89.
Yeah, and see, IDs were a lot easier to fake than they are now, too.
Yeah, you could do it a lot easier.
But somehow Rob got this thing out of a vending machine.
Oh, that'd be high quality.
Did this ID, and for all intents and purposes, it looked like it would work. I mean, it looked like shit when I was actually texting him the other day talking about this, and he goes, "It looked like such shit." But so we drive to New Haven. We get to the show, and Rob's worried about the fucking IDs. Looking at the fucking IDs.
Dude, this ain't gonna work, man.
And I look. So we went through all this trouble to get this ID, right? I look at the door. It says free show. I go, Rob. He goes, what? He goes, I'm trying to make sure. I go, Rob, it's a fucking free show. He goes, I know, I got the idea. I go, no, dude, it's a free show for everybody. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes, we went through all this work for this idea. And we got him free anyway.
Wow.
That's fucking hilarious,
Nice.
dude.
And I still to this day didn't know why it was free. I think it had something to do with two of the opening bands didn't make it.
Oh, so they just
like,
everybody.
fuck it, we're just gonna play this fucking show.
Toad's Place got like some shit band open for Armored Saint and decided, you know what, it's a free show.
Gotcha.
Armored Saint still got paid, but
That's hilarious. He all went through all that work to try and get into the show.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
I had my own instance with the fake ID thing. I think I was talking about that with my Richard Bagg fucking college ID, but it looked so fucking ridiculous. But it worked. I mean, I'd used it multiple times, a college ID. But like you guys said back in the day, I mean, they looked like they were homemade, you know, because they kind of were, you know, they were just a card that they laminated, and back then things didn't look like they do now, where it's got the shit embedded in it and chips and all that stuff. You know.
Did you have a good time once you got into that free show then?
Oh yeah, it was Armored Saint kicked ass.
Fucking right, awesome. Dude. That's what's up.
Fuck, it was a great show. It was a Symbol of Salvation tour. They kicked ass.
That's awesome. They are a great band live, and I know that with the new album out, I'm sure they're itching to tour, but right now nobody's doing any of that, so it's unfortunate.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we got a killer cage match to get to tonight, guys. We got an interesting matchup. We do this every week, pretty much, or unless we have a contest or something going on. But Killer Cage Match is where we came up with a list of 70 killers, 70 objects. Some of them are just household things. Some of them are crazy. And what we do is we have our listeners pick random numbers. So, Chris, our listeners this week to thank again are
We got Mr. Mason Robertson. We got Marla Yancey. And we got Rebecca Boomsock giving them numbers out. Ready to kick some fucking ass in the cage.
Hell yeah. So their numbers give us a very interesting matchup, Joey.
Yeah.
We got a couple of serial killers going at it.
Yep. Jeffrey Dahmer and David Berkowitz are going to fucking go at it.
Nice.
Toe to toe in the steel cage.
That's right. And CK, they got a couple of good objects to fight with here. What do they got, buddy?
A can of corn. I'm wondering if it's cream corn or regular corn.
I'm not sure.
I guess it doesn't matter.
A can of corn, I'll be all right.
A fence post wrapped in barbed wire, and the variable is a porcupine.
That porcupine's like...
That porcupine could get nasty. Yeah. I don't know what porcupines mean, like by nature.
Dude, I'll tell you what, like I remember going to my fucking...
I wouldn't want to fuck with one.
We went to my grandparents' house one time in Maine, and they had a fucking porcupine in the fucking tree, kind of like by where we used to like have our fucking lunches or whatever.
Spot.
And that I remember that summer, like we couldn't go over there because them motherfuckers will quill you.
Yeah, they shoot them motherfuckers.
Yeah, they'll shoot it out.
Yeah, so they like didn't let us near it and shit, but it stayed there the whole fucking time, just chilling in this tree. I was like, all right.
Oh wow. So I mean, what do you guys think here? We got Dahmer and Berkowitz fighting to death with a can of corn and a fence post wrapped in barbed wire, and a porcupine's running loose in the cage. CK.
Well, here's what I think. I don't think it's going to be any fucking contest, because unless Berkowitz has a gun, he's too wishy-washy.
Yeah.
I don't think he has him to even... He's not going to do nothing. So I think Jeffrey Dahmer is going to take that barbed wire and just pulverize him in the fucking head like 30 times.
Trying to get holes for the acid.
Yeah, Joey, I mean, you're the resident Dahmer expert. I mean, what do you think? Dahmer had to get somewhat physical.
I'm going to keep it simple.
But he drugged him, didn't he?
Yeah, but I'm going to keep this simple, too. And they're both pretty passive dudes, except both of them had a dark streak, you know?
Right.
But
I think Berkowitz is more passive.
Yeah, so in my opinion, Jeffrey Dahmer is going to end up taking every bit of that, the weapons, the variable, and all that, and shoving it straight up Berkowitz's asshole.
Wow. Chubby Behemoth is going to get
every
the
bit
fence
of it.
post up his butt?
The porcupine and all.
Everything.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, that's what
I'm going with the Dahmer win on this, but
me too.
If that fucking goddamn porcupine, like you were saying, hanging out
Start
in the tree,
shooting
what if it's
quills?
on one of the top turnbuckle of the fucking cage,
Right.
and it just starts shooting shit at motherfuckers?
Oh,
dude.
man.
Like,
Ouch.
oh, you get quilled in your fucking
Now, are they
eyeball.
poisonous or is it
No,
just
they're not
hurt?
poisonous.
No, they're not poisonous,
No,
but
they just hurt like a
They're
motherfucker.
fucking
man.
huge, and they fucking go in. You ever seen the pictures of the dogs
Yeah.
that got attacked by
Yeah.
fucking porcupine?
and porcupine, I
brutal.
mean, they're big fucking
Yeah,
creatures.
they're not.
Dude,
they're
they
not
tear
small,
up like
dude.
the fucking my grandparents' crops and shit up there. Like you can
Oh,
tell where
wow.
a porcupine's been fucking kicking
wow.
or whatever. Yeah, they're fucking.
And don't they have
destructive.
like reverse
Damn.
barbs on the
Yeah,
quills too?
yeah.
So
You know, you
pull-
can't just pull it out like that. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
man.
I'm gonna go with Dahmer gets the fight against Berkowitz,
But gets fucked up maybe by the porcupine, but
he's
lives
gonna
through it.
he might have some quills in him because he's gonna spook the pork.
Right.
he might bend over. He might bend over and spread his cheeks and welcome
Take
those
it.
quills.
Yeah, he might. You never know.
He's not so much Albert Fish, I guess, but you
That's
know.
true.
Albert
That's true.
Fish would
Oh
love
no, he
that.
should have had a porcupine.
Yeah, right?
He'd be shoving that thing up his
Oh,
ass.
my God. Shoot me again.
So, yeah, I'm
Albert
giving
Fish
it- I'm giving
porcupine
it-
farm.
I'm giving it to Dahmer
I
as well.
think
though.
Dahmer, too. I think we all agree Dahmer on this one. But a good contest and always fun. And thanks again to the listeners giving us those good random numbers. I've been given some updates on my writing process for Creation of Chaos 3. I've been making some good progress. I've so far completed The Creep, The Last Supper, The 666 Express, and The Eyes Have It. Those are done. The latest one I'm working on is called Someone Else's Blood. The Low 12 fans out there may remember this one. It was a spoken word intro that was on our very first demo. And I've decided that I'm going to do an audio version for Creation of Chaos 3, the whole thing. As I'm writing the stories, I'm going to start recording them. And I plan on doing that with my other books as well.
So pissed I still haven't read the story.
The Eyes Have It?
Yeah, I will.
I haven't either,
Doing
yeah.
the HOI shit was so
I
fucking
know.
buck wild, and I'm finally just getting back to it. But I keep looking at it in my email like, man, I need
Not
to get to
right.
that.
Yeah, I'm
CK,
looking at it like in my room, like,
you've
God
read
damn
it.
Yeah, you'll
Hell
dig
yeah.
it.
Now, did you, CK, did you tell me you had or hadn't read the alternate ending?
I still have. I keep on forgetting that you emailed.
Okay.
me.
Well, at
I'll
least
read
you
it.
forget shit too, motherfucker.
I wrote an alternate ending
I
to
do.
this story, but actually, my wife, when she read it, she thought that the alternate ending was better than the ending,
Right.
that I previously did. So I agree. I like the alternate ending. So now I'm going to switch them. So the alternate ending will be the way it ends, and I'll offer the other as a little tip of the cap to Edgar Allan Poe, who gave me the idea
Hell yeah.
of the heart beating under the floorboards and all that shit. So The Eyes Have It is pretty dark, pretty gruesome.
It's definitely gruesome. It's definitely kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, well, I use the
It's-
story of Charles Albright, the serial killer, but I take him and I morph him into some different serial killers. A little Gacy, a little Dauber, a little Geen, a little Kemper, all rolled up into one fun,
And early next year, we'll do
disgusting
Albright.
motherfucker. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
are going to do Albright next year, the Texas Eyeball Killer. So, and Tex has already
Oh, I
staked
like
his claim
eyeballs.
on that one. He's the one that
hell
suggested it, and it's so Murder Metal Mayhem, it's not even funny.
Because the Kemper one, that'll actually be the first one of 2021, right?
No, that'll be the last one of this year. We
Okay, so
recorded
it'll
on the
still-
29th or the 29th, and how many? The
31 days.
I think it comes out on the 31st.
Okay.
I think it does.
That's what's up. Awesome.
Yeah. So,
Happy New Year, motherfucker.
Yeah, so we got a lot of good stuff coming out, but it's intertwining with the writing, which is really cool. So I'm hoping to publish Creation of Chaos 3 in the spring of next year, and I'm also going to be reading throughout this month an excerpt in each of the episodes. And this week I picked a spot of the story, The Creep. It's about 10 minutes long, so you check this out, see if you like my reading of the story. And just a quick setup because it's in the middle of it. But the main character of the story finds out that his wife was having an affair with the guy that lives next door to them. He has this really fucked up experience that happens to him late one night after he falls asleep watching TV. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you hear this excerpt from my story, The Creep. The Creep. An excerpt written by Pete Altieri, narrated by Pete Altieri. I passed out in my bed after a fourth glass of whiskey watching a horror movie, like I had been doing most nights. I was awakened by the sound of my front door closing. I could tell from the unique sound it made and how it would shake the little knickknacks that Abby had arranged on a shelf by the front door where our keys would hang. I sat upright, knocking pizza crust from my chest and down to the floor. My head was fuzzy from the alcohol. It was then a pungent stench swept across me, forcing me nearly to gag at its horrible bouquet. I knew the smell. I knew it from my summers helping my grandfather at his farm in New Hampshire. My grandparents would often have animals get into the crawl space beneath the farmhouse. Sometimes they would die and fill the house with the pungent stink of rot. Grandpa would have me belly crawl across the dirt to retrieve a rotting corpse of a raccoon, possum, squirrel, or whatever it happened to be. He had a bad back from an army injury when he was in the Korean War. At least that's the excuse that he gave me. It was the same telltale smell of death wafting about my bedroom now. My eyes strained to see in the dark. The only light in my bedroom came from the television on my dresser, which was about 15 feet from me, a muted infomercial playing. My blackout curtains kept any exterior light from intruding. As the smell of rot came closer, I could hear a dragging sound like someone walking with a pronounced limp in one leg. Just then, the bedroom door creaked open, very slowly, and the stench was like a vice grip around my throat. I nearly vomited. A dark, shadowy figure emerged as the light from the television beamed across the room, illuminating its legs. It appeared to be a man, small in stature, shuffling toward me with a limp. He was dragging his right foot as he approached the bed. He was an incredibly old man, yet the features on his face were somewhat concealed by shadows. I could only make out part of his face, a sickening, dull pallor with many wrinkles. The miasma of death that surrounded him was unpleasant still. He smiled at me with rotten teeth and a snarl on his thin, gray lips that were cracked like old concrete steps. "When darkness comes to interrupt your peaceful sleep," the old man spoke in a monotone voice that crackled a bit with age, on the lips of a stranger known to all as the Creep. The words crept from him with ease, slithering like a snake across the grass. He was standing at the side of my bed now, still concealed in shadows, and grinning with the macabre madness about him. He wore a weathered brown fedora on his head, moldy and covered with matted dirt. The brown coat draped on his bony frame was equally as dirty and ragged. The work boots he wore left muddy footprints in their wake. As horrid a sight as he was, I couldn't take my eyes off the strange little man. My lips quivered as I tried to speak, but the old man placed his filthy, bony forefinger to my closed mouth, and I was unable to say a word. I could feel the roughness of his skin on my lips and the putrid stench with my nose. It was terrible. The old man continued to smile and snarl as he added, "To do your bidding, no matter how grave. Your debt is your curse until it is paid." He let out a hideous laugh in low tones. He removed his forefinger from my mouth, and I was suddenly able to speak. "Who are you? What do you want?" I stammered, completely in shock. I assumed it was a dream, since the entire scenario seemed unreal. Plus, the way he spoke to me in rhymes was like something from a scary movie or bedtime story told by fire at summer camp. "I'm known as the Creep. It's been my name for a very long time. I don't mind it, really." He stared at me, awaiting a response. I could see his eyes, a bright blue, like the beams from two brilliant flashlights into my soul. They were the only source of color that appeared across his grayed-out landscape. I didn't know what to say. I sat frozen in place, my sense of smell adjusting to the rot that surrounded me like a filthy embrace. The Creep. What an odd name. "You summoned me. Whether you want to believe it or not, you came calling. I only go where my services are needed," he said, straightening out the brim of his hat with a quick motion. A slender hand fell back to his side. The rhythm of his breath was soothing, though the sight of the hideous man from some upturned grave made my skin crawl with 1,000 ants. I kept staring at every feature. "You know your neighbor. The one that your wife has been seeing in plain sight. I know you wish him harm," he uttered, staring at my reaction. He smirked. "Who could blame you?" "Adam? What about him?" I asked in a hoarse whisper, afraid someone would hear our conversation. The Creep laughed softly, then snarled again. "You want harm to come to him. I know you've thought long and hard about that, haven't you? You've envisioned the two of them in about every position your mind could conjure. It's been terrible. Just look at you. You're really a mess." He glanced over at 3 empty bottles of Calvert's whiskey on my dresser and 2 full trash bags of beer cans in the corner of the room. There was no hiding it. The old man was right. But I wasn't sure how he knew about the illicit affair and what my thoughts were on the matter. He somehow managed to get into my locked house, and I began to panic. Was I dreaming or not? I looked about the room for a way out, far away from this dreadful old wretch who came to see me at this godforsaken hour. Yet the presence of the Creep seemed to keep me firmly in place on the bed, unable to move any part of my body other than my head. "If I can make him go away, you'll have to do something for me. Can you promise me you will?" The words fell out of his mouth like pieces of wet, rotten-smelling leaves to the floor. "What do you mean, make him go away?" I knew exactly what he meant. The Creep laughed again, then moved even closer, only inches from my shaking countenance. His face resembled the moon with deep crevices, pits, and other imperfections. His breath was rank. "You know what I mean. We're both adults here. I'll be sure death comes calling to him so you can get back to living instead of obsessing about the two," the Creep said while wringing his hands with glee. His rotten teeth looked like they were covered with green and black mold. His disgusting tongue darted out and back in for a brief second like a serpent. I now doubted he was human at all. "Yes, I would like that," I said, desperate to make the Creep leave my bedroom. I hoped I would awake any moment and laugh about having such a strange dream. I would joke about how watching horror movies and drinking alcohol was making mincemeat of my mind. The creep smiled even bigger and backed up a foot or two from me. I could feel the stranglehold of the officious odor lessen a bit. The room got a bit colder. Then we have a deal. When it is done, you'll hear from me again. Before I could utter a reply, the creep turned and shuffled out of my bedroom, shutting the door behind him. I held my breath in fear until I heard him shut the front door. The smell began to dissipate, and I got up to make sure he was gone. I turned on every light in the house and opened every closet door, cupboard, and even checked the attic. The creep was nowhere to be found. Even the muddy footprints I saw in the bedroom were gone, as if he were never there at all. I laid back down, but sleep was playing hard to get. I instead pulled the covers up to my chin, listening intently, fearing the creep would come back to see me before dawn. Well, there you go. Well, Halloween is over, but it continues here on Murder Metal Mayhem.
No, it continues everywhere in life throughout the entire year. Fuck yeah.
Halloween is every day.
That's right. So,
as ministry says.
Yeah. So hope you guys dug that. It's a 10-minute piece of that story, and I'll be doing more of that this month. I think I'm going to do the Jesus tree as one of my reads, and then I'm also going to do some other stories as well. So I got a few.
I'm doing the wreath, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to do the week of Thanksgiving. Our bonus episode will be the Last Supper.
Last Supper, right.
Yeah, and then at Christmas, we're going to do the 666 Express, and then we'll also do a replay of the wreath as well. So
I'm excited about doing 666
Yeah,
Express.
that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be fun.
Because we all get to do our voices for that.
I can't recall, another reading like that I've heard before.
No.
I'm sure maybe screenplay, like Seth Rogen and them probably fucking acted some of their shit out to some people or whatever.
Right.
Not like what you're talking about, so that's really exciting.
No, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to add the sound effects.
And if these people don't know, one of Pete's stories, he basically wrote us all into it.
Right.
So we have the unique opportunity to read all of our lines from that.
Well, the setup for that story, real quick while we're on the subject, is me and CK go to see Onslaught, and we come out of the venue, and this guy's dressed up in this devil costume, and he's handing out flyers with these girls dressed like devils, and so the contest is, you get to win these tickets on this train that drives 666 miles an hour, and it's supposed to go from Dallas to Denver, which is 666 miles in 1 hour, so... they're whatever. They enter the contest, and then they get the tickets, and then me and CK, we go, and we sit down in the train, and it's all crazy, and then you guys come into the train, and you guys sit in the row next to us, and so it's really funny.
Passed out, bro.
Chris is passed out. It's a lot of fun, but once the doors close, that's when the fun is over, and shit gets real inside that train car. So. We're going to do a read of that. Is going to be fucking funny. It should be really great. I hope the listeners get a kick out of it.
And it has an awesome, unexpected ending, kind of.
It does. So. It's pretty wild. Only one of us kind of lives.
Right.
Kind of. At least for a couple of seconds. Guess only a few seconds. But so it's a lot of fun. So we'll do that. And like I said, I'm going to be doing audio versions of all this stuff. And since I've been doing a lot of this writing, I've made a decision that does involve, what we do here every Tuesday, but in a good way. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'd like to see more creativity coming from us as collectively here at Murder Metal Mayhem. We all have unique talents. And I've decided to take the plunge and create basically Horns High Podcast Network. And I'm going to add another podcast to the list. So we're doing Murder Metal Mayhem, So now, in addition to doing this show with you guys, I'm going to be doing a bi-weekly podcast on my writing.
Oh, yeah.
And some discussions of horror and suspense, books, movies. I'm going to do some interviews, I'm sure.
The dark shit.
Yes, and it's all going to be about
horror
that kind
type
of thing.
Novels.
That's right.
Horror type novels.
And
I'm going to be doing a podcast on my favorite boy bands. And
there you go. There you go.
just joking.
So my podcast will be called the Voice of Dread podcast, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to release episodes in January. They will be shorter than Murder Metal Mayhem episodes, I guarantee you that. But I know that's what we said. We were going to do an hour show, and it turned into this. But I'm definitely going to have to keep it to a minimum because I got a lot on my plate. However, I think this will be a lot of fun, and I hope that some of you guys listening are interested and want to check that one out as well.
I can check it out, dude.
More details as they become available.
My seem to like your books anyway, so I mean...
Yeah. We've always got a lot of listens when we posted the other times I've done.
And you fans that like the books, that have friends that don't necessarily like the metal stuff or whatever, and turn them on to Pete's other podcast coming out in January. Get it in, man.
There you go. So that should be fun. I'll keep you guys posted. Now, Seasons Beatings is a contest that's starting to really shape up. We're going to be doing tag team matches with serial killers and metal musicians. It's going to be sick. We got artist Jeff Gaither sponsoring this one. It's going to run the whole month of December. It's going to be fucking amazing. And we got some really good prizes to give away. And, of course, the winner will get to be a co-host with us on a murder segment. We've already done this now a couple times. We mentioned earlier Chris Worstrom that won the Hellcoming contest is going to be in here the last week of December.
Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer.
Fuck yeah, the last
fucking
week.
Mommy's head.
The final skull fucking his mom. The final episode of 2020, Ed Kemper with Chris, who won that contest. So you want to win if you want to get in here on Messenger with us and talk about serial killers. So Seasons Beatings, we'll give you more on this, but it's going to be great. And the idea at CK of making the metal musicians fight with the serial killers is going to be great.
It's going to be really interesting.
And we put a little twist on this, CK. We talked about this in the pre-show meeting, that 2 of their musicians and 2 of our musicians have to be dead, and they're going to be zombie
cool.
of their, so like Hendrix or Bonham or whoever we want to pick that are going to be the musicians in there can be zombies. So we'll pick 2 dead musicians to bring back to life for this. So it should be a lot of fun. So anyway, that's what's coming up. So much good stuff from us. So I think we've done plenty of fucking mayhem tonight.
Right,
so let's hit that fucking
chaotic
outro the fuck out. Fucking Sodom, man. Brand new Sodom and Gomorrah's the song. Love that German thrash, man.
Dude, fucking Sodom's always been a fucking good ass thrash band.
They're awesome back in the fucking day. Now, CK, do you know when does that come out?
November 23rd?
Okay.
Around there. That, I know that, and Within Ruins. And I believe Hatebreed comes out around the same time.
And I know that fucking Macabre's coming soon, too. Cause
that Macabre, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good music coming out.
That video?
I saw the video. It's fucking cool.
Dude,
yeah,
holy shit.
I liked it. Bumper music tonight by Incinerate, Sodom, and Agent Steel. Huge thanks to Jesse from Incinerate / Septicemic for coming on to co-host.
You, Jesse. Appreciate your shit, dude.
Very, very cool of him up there in Minnesota to take a break from the cold and talk to us. Go pick up that new Incinerate. It's fucking blistering, man. Holy shit.
You get that, and you get you a bottle of Malort. That's a good
Fuck
night.
Malort.
He loves Malort.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Hanging out
fucking
with Ben and
wicked.
shit.
Yeah.
So Jesse and the guys just tearing it the fuck up, and so thanks again, Jesse. CK, your intro music is by who?
Cry6.
Very good. Murder Metal Mayhem intro music, Chris, by
Low 12, motherfucker, what?
and Joey, the 666 fucking 6 music.
Onslaught.
Hell yeah. Thanks
Cheerio.
to Nige from Onslaught for letting us use that every week. Huge thanks to our friends at spellboundeffectsandart.com supporting indie artists like Tony Campagna. He's got such a great catalog on his website. You can go check it out. All price points. You can get a thumb drive. You can get a fucking lamp made of human, look like it made
Drop
of human
that thumb
skin.
in your ass.
You could. He's got all sorts of body parts. He's got forearms with your
Drive
logo
that
carved
forearm
into it.
in your... No, I'm just...
I'm gonna get a ball scratcher shaped like a little hand.
Dude, that'd be awesome, bro.
Tony can do it. That's the thing.
Probably-
It's amazing.
yeah, no, he
should do that.
Spellboundeffectsandart.com.
Tony's got some badass
Go
shit.
check it out. Thanks to all of you guys out there listening. We keep seeing the numbers rolling in. Fort Stevens or Lake Stevens, Washington.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
What the
That's
hell's
really
up with that?
amazing. I don't know, man.
You know, and I was gonna bring this up. I was talking to Chris about this earlier. Fucking
Yeah.
I kind of got into a little thing on the internet, fucking checking out about true crime plagiarism, because there was a fucking popular podcast that got fucking nailed last year about about an episode that, you know, an author had said was plagiarized or whatnot. So I kind of got into looking into it because I was like, man, you know, that's the question. How do you plagiarize true crime? 'Cause,
Right.
you know, and so like the basic theory and the idea is, okay, so you got this core group of details about a case,
Right.
facts. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, everybody that's going to report on this case is going to report on those in some form. Maybe less of them, maybe more of them.
Right.
But there's always going to be those facts because that's the facts of the case. It's
Sure.
a true story.
Right.
What keeps things from becoming plagiarized, and why I fucking really appreciate how we do things here, is because it's how you put your twist, your input, and your bias on it through your platform.
Okay.
And turn it into something else. And I've always thought that, you know, I appreciate how we do that here.
Right.
Exactly.
That's cool.
I was just really fascinated because I had never heard of that term, and I had never heard of, you know, that
true
situation
crime being
so
plagiarized.
pulling it up and seeing it, it really pulled me in for a minute. And like I said, you know, I brought it up to Chris, and like he knew the case I was talking about.
Yeah, I knew exactly what he said. As soon as he mentioned it, I was like, I know exactly what you're fucking talking about.
Yeah, they had that episode pulled, and I mean, that was a real thing because you kind of watch out for certain things.
Like when you're reading somebody else's research verbatim.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
And that's why I think how we do things is so fucking awesome, and why people have appreciated us in the field, you know, true professionals and stuff that worked with us because, you know, we do things
Yeah,
our
we've
own
had
way.
some legit fucking input from
yeah.
people that are pretty highly respected. Catherine Ramsland, Harold Schechter,
We might
Peter
be fucking
Vronsky.
the Beavis and Butthead.
Right,
and Ren and
but we
Stimpy.
try to get it right. We do really try to get it
That's
right.
what we're going to call it, the Beavis and Butthead and the Ren and Stimpy.
Representing.
Now we got a few listeners to thank here, and the very first one hails from the state of Washington. Chris, what's this one about, man?
Tanya the Tank. What
Fuck
up,
yeah.
Tanya? Fuck yeah, dude. Kill motherfuckers out there. Says, you guys are my new favorite podcast. Listening from Washington State. I heard about you guys from a friend at work. There's a bunch of us listening now.
Apparently.
So, y'all out at the lake then?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck
Tanya
yeah.
the Tank.
Dude,
That's awesome,
Tanya the
man.
Tank. Keep
That's
listening.
fucking cool, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
Keep your
Joey,
friends listening. Help it out.
Joey, what's that next one, bud?
Ricardo Gallendo commented, I love Bear Mace. Thanks for doing that interview with Mark. Those guys kill it, and fuck yeah, they do.
And fuck yes, they do.
Thanks,
dude.
Ricardo.
That was awesome. That was an awesome interview too.
Yeah, I like the way that turned out. And I got a lot of listens, over 700 to that one, too.
Yeah.
So, all right, CK, what's the next one, bud?
Metal Rules All 666 said, I like hearing the whole show, but the metal segment is my favorite. Love hearing CK cover Slayer. Slayer!
Slayer! Awesome,
and
man.
that actually surprised me that we got a lot of comments about Slayer.
We did.
With that episode.
We did. And Chris, what's that last one, dude?
Shit. Dead Again 323. I'm dead again too. I feel you, dude. I feel you. But yeah, Dead Again 323 says those karaoke songs kill me every time. Love that shit, Pete. Horns high from Dallas.
Nice. We get quite a few listeners from Dallas. So thanks, Dead Again.
Fucking
I'm glad
A,
you
man.
like
Hell yeah, thank
the
you,
karaoke
guys.
songs are fun to do. I like destroying that shit. I did a good one for you this week. Destroyed one of CK's all-time favorite ballads too, so he's probably mad at me.
I hate that fucking song.
So don't forget to check out murdermetalmayhem.com to listen to all the episodes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out the show on Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, iTunes, and more, and leave some comments wherever you listen because that helps. And give us a rating. That also helps. It gets more people to see our name and click and maybe give it a listen and get hooked like everybody else. So support the show. Join the 666 Club. Go to patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. All these links, of course, are in that episode description. $3 a month, though, get you the 666 Club. So check it out. You can also go to PeteAltieri.com if you want to pick up one of my books. And we can't let him go, though, without hearing a karaoke song. CK, I know I destroyed one of your favorites, so crank it the fuck up. And until next time, keep
No
one
comment.
foot in the gutter.
And keep your ears open because CK's got to do his whiny voice one more time.
Oh, see you next week. Oh, my God.
Sister Christian, oh, the time has come, and you know that you're the only one to say, okay. Where you going, what you looking for? You know those boys don't wanna play no more with you. It's true. What's your price for flight? In finding Mr. Right, you'll be alright tonight. Babe, you know you're growing up so fast, and Mama's worrying that you won't last to say, let's play. Sister Christian, there's so much in life. Don't you give it up before your time is due. It's true. It's true. Your price for flight. You've got him in your sight, and driving through the night. Motoring, what's your price for flight? In finding Mr. Right, tonight. Fuck yeah. rise for flight. In finding Mr. Right, you'll be alright tonight. Sister Christian, oh, the time has come, and you know that you're the only one to say, okay. Put your motor in, yeah, motor in.
What the fuck is motoring anyway? I mean, is that like a code word for like using a fucking vibrator? I mean, that makes sense. Whatever. Fucking bitch.
Mother, man.